It was the perfect garden wedding. Charlotte, radiant in lace, was just steps away from saying, "I do," to Bradley Langston, the town's golden boy. Everything was flawless until the dog came. No one knew where it came from. Mangy, limping, and soaked from the nearby creek, the retriever loped down the aisle uninvited. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The priest paused. The music stopped. Then the dog dropped something at Charlotte's feet. A small object. Mud-streaked. Oval. Charlotte bent down slowly. Her face went pale. It was a locket. But not just any locket. Inside was a photo of her. And another man. Jeremy. The man who vanished 2 years ago, without a trace. The man she was once engaged to. The whispers began. Charlotte stood frozen. Bradley's expression twisted into something unreadable. A storm cloud passed over the sun. Someone from the back row whispered, "That's Jeremy's dog." The locket slipped from Charlotte's hand. She turned to follow the dog, who had already begun to walk away, glancing back once, as if expecting her. Drawn by instinct, by guilt, by something deeper, Charlotte followed. They passed through hedges into the woods and across a stream until they reached a small clearing with a collapsed cabin. The dog stopped, pawed at the earth. Something glinted beneath the soil. Charlotte dropped to her knees and dug with her bare hands, breath ragged. Then she found it. A human hand. Bone-white. Still wearing the ring she had given Jeremy. The truth hit her like a stone. Jeremy hadn't vanished. Bradley had lied. She turned slowly back toward the wedding behind the trees, toward the man waiting at the altar, smiling in the sunlight, pretending not to know a thing. But the dog had remembered, and it brought the truth back in its mouth. Charlotte staggered back from the shallow grave, her hands muddy and trembling. Her heart hammered against her ribs, pounding louder than the wedding bells that still chimed in the distance, oblivious. The dog sat beside her quietly, his fur matted with old dirt, his eyes dark pools of sadness. Tears blurred Charlotte's vision. She wiped her hands on her gown, white ruined by black earth, and stumbled upright. Her mind raced. Jeremy hadn't abandoned her. He had been murdered. She didn't need a jury to tell her who had done it. She saw it in Bradley's eyes as he waited at the altar. The gleam of victory, the smug tilt of his chin, the way he had rushed the engagement when Jeremy disappeared. He had been tying up loose ends ever since. Charlotte took one last look at the grave. Her stomach twisted in a sick knot. She turned back toward the manor, rage and sorrow knotting inside her. The dog followed. As Charlotte reemerged through the trees, the wedding guests gasped, some at her soiled dress, others at the wild fury burning in her eyes. Bradley stepped forward, his smile slipping. "Charlotte," he said carefully, "what happened? Where did you?" She held up the locket. The crowd stilled. Charlotte's voice was cold enough to stop the wind itself. "You killed him," she said. Bradley's face twitched. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, laughing weakly. "Come on, sweetheart, you're upset. Let's just—" The dog, Rufus, growled deep and low, his body rigid with warning. Charlotte didn't flinch. "I found him," she said. "You didn't even bury him deep enough." Gasps spread through the crowd like wildfire. 2 guests quietly slipped away to call the police. Another pulled out a phone already filming. Bradley's face turned a sickly shade of gray. He opened his mouth to speak, to lie again, but the sirens were already faintly wailing in the distance, coming fast down the country roads. There would be no more running. No more pretending. Rufus had made sure of that. And Charlotte, still standing in her ruined dress, her bouquet abandoned somewhere in the trees, felt something she hadn't in 2 long years. Freedom.